Now, I know what you're thinking. There's so many great new gen animes out here, and I know you ain't watched them all, Ice. Why go back to the 90s and the 99 and 2000 and watch YuYu Hakusho? Let me tell you how I came across this review, how I got to rewatching YuYu Hakusho. What's up, y'all? It's Ice McGowan, and welcome back to another episode of Let's Talk Anime. It's been a minute. It's been a minute since I've been in these Let's Talk Anime streets, but I'm back with the review of the first season of YuYu Hakusho. Now, I know what you're thinking. There's so many great new gen animes out here, and I know you ain't watched them all, Ice. Why go back to the 90s and the 99 and 2000 and watch YuYu Hakusho? Let me tell you how I came across this review, how I got to rewatching YuYu Hakusho. Now, I have a group chat that I'm in, Anime Shun group chat, for those people who know me from that podcast. It was a podcast I had a few years back with my boys, and during that time, they watched YuYu Hakusho, but I never watched it. I don't know where I was at. I think I was gone. I was on, I don't know. Something happened where I wasn't there throughout the entirety of the review. And we still have a group chat. And in the group chat, people were talking about YuYu Hakusho. And then it was one person in particular, my homie Keith, who's a supporter of the show and is a part of the Shun Gang. We have an extended family of people that love our podcast, and he is one of those people. And all of us in the group chat, it's like 30, 40 of us in the group chat. So we know it's on Instagram. So we send in reels. We always talk. We have debates in there, whatnot. So he hopped in the chat, and he was talking about YuYu Hakusho is overrated. YuYu Hakusho is not that good. He was talking crazy. He was talking crazy about YuYu Hakusho, and people were in arms about it. People were up in arms about it. People were saying that, you're tripping. It's a classic. So long story short, I'm going over here. I'm looking at the conversation, and I want to say that he crazy. I want to say that he tripping. And I'm just like, wait, I don't remember anything. I don't remember anything from YuYu Hakusho. I don't have a dog in this fight because I can't remember what happened. And I thought about it, I'm like, wait, have I even ever watched it? Have I completed it? Because I'm a big Toonami kid. So it was on Toonami at one point in time. And I remember it coming on, but I never watched it in its entirety. I never watched it episode after episode after episode. And I don't like to come in a conversation outside of One Piece, because I know all you people are like, well, you say that about One Piece. Outside of One Piece, I very seldom like to come in a conversation, especially a debate, especially a heated debate, because it was hot. I was looking at it, I was like, this is hot. I don't want to go in there without being prepared and having talking points. And another thing that drew me to watch it is a lot of anime pages and blogs and stuff like that I follow on Instagram and social media was saying that the Dark Tournament is the greatest tournament arc in all of anime. Now, as a Naruto fan, I can't go for that. I can't go for that. You can't tell me that the Dark Tournament is better than the Chunin exams. You just can't. You can't, but I ain't seen it. I don't remember it. I don't think I've ever seen a Dark Tournament. So it's like, okay, again, this is another hot debate that I want to be a part of, but I don't have the proper evidence. So I need to go back, watch YuYu Hakusho, and get the proper evidence. And that I did. I only did the first season because I wanted to do it in pieces. I didn't necessarily want to do it all in its totality because, one, I'm going to forget stuff. And two, I just want to make sure that I'm being accurate in what I'm saying. And I just feel like if I'm going through all two seasons, because I know my life and I know I'm not going to be able to watch two seasons in a timely manner and remember everything. So I want to give YuYu Hakusho the best chance of having a good review. And that's how I'm going to do it. So I'm going to break it up. Any review that I do, I'm going to always try to break it up season by season versus totality until I finish it. And then I can go back and give a whole total review of the show. Now, with that being said, I meant to record this like 2 months ago. less than 2 months ago, maybe 6 weeks ago, something like that, because I watched it, and just for that, I was like, I'm not going to watch season 2 until I do the review. And then life happened. I had streams, I had my son, I had my life, I had comedy, I had all types of stuff. So this is going to be a very loose review. And although I don't remember it line by line or episode by episode, which I don't really like doing full recaps of the episodes or the season anyway, but it might be a little more loose than other reviews that I've had in the past, just because it's been a minute. But I still remember how I feel. I still remember the points that I needed to make. So I got notes. Let's start with that. Let's start with the notes that I wrote down on December 30th at 12 a.m. I only got 3 of them, as you can see. I only got 3 notes. And I'm just going to go off the top of my brain and see what I meant by these notes and see where we get at. So my first note is, why is Botan so weak? That's facts. That's facts. To be the Grim Reaper, why are you that weak? I feel like she can only beat like crony level people. It's like, does she, and I don't remember them ever really touching on it, but like, does she lose power when she goes to Earth? Like, is she like super strong in the spirit realm? Or is it just like, just because you're the Grim Reaper, you don't have powers? But I felt like, I don't know, I've always felt that the Grim Reaper, and that just must be media and how, I grew up, but I've always felt like the Grim Reaper should be strong. Like, even the Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy, like, he was, they used him kind of jokingly, and it was a very funny show, but the Grim Reaper had powers. Like, Grim had powers. Like, he wasn't no slouch. So, I don't know, I just felt like Botan should be stronger. And they put her like a step above damsel in distress. Because animes love doing that with their women characters. So they put her like she wasn't always, she can hold her own, but barely. But barely. Like it was enough there for her to create some tension, because when they was down there in the other world with the demon world or whatever, and then Botan was fighting those demons on Earth, she was like, her and Keiko and stuff, like they barely made it out. But it was some level of suspense there to see, like, okay, is she going to make it? Is she not? So I just didn't like how weak she was as the Grim Reaper. Homie face is a nutsack. I don't know what I was talking about. I have no idea what I was talking about. It had to be when they went to, because none of the 4 guys, Kurobara, Hihei, and the homie with the whip, I forgot his name. None of those guys have a nutsack for a face. So I don't know who I was talking about. Kurama, that's his name. Yeah, I don't I actually want to see. It must have been during the tournament, like when they was just testing out their spiritual powers and stuff. But yeah, I don't know who had a face for a nutsack. It's crazy. It said, call his sensei a bee and says it smells like ash. Yeah, I do like, I know where I was going with that. I do like the fact that Yusuke he was like a really brash 14-year-old, 15-year-old, however old he was. They look grown for 14. That's what he was, 14. He looked grown as hell for 14 years old. But he fit the character. Like, he didn't have that, like, he had that progression, if you will, of like a character that's kind of like, don't care about nobody. I'm a loner. I'm a, whatever. I'm a punk, if you will. Like, I'm a street dude, whatever. He didn't have like that natural progression of like, oh, now I'm goody two shoes. He, throughout his progression and character development of caring for other people, he was still a a-hole. He was still an ass regardless. Like, he called homegirl, he called her a bitch. I died when he called her that. I'm like, bro, like, yo, she low key trying to, what was her name? Yukina? Like, she trying to help you, dog. She trying to help you, and you calling her a B word is wild. And he was in, I forgot where he was at, but he was like, yeah, it smells like ass. Like, he cussed a lot. As a 14-year-old kid, like, my son is 15, and if I heard him cussing like you're a Messi, I'm like, bro, we got to square up. We got to fight because you're tripping. But it fit his character, and although he did good deeds, he still was an a-hole, and I love that. I love that because it's like, I can grow, but I don't have to abandon who I am as a person to grow. Because I feel like a lot of, even outside of animes, when people have a progression of a character, they completely abandon who they used to be and turn into somebody else. And it's just like, come on. Like, that's not necessarily how humans work. And it may, yes and no. We grow and we get better, but I still feel like there's still elements of people, of their essence, that stays the same. So I was really appreciative of Yusuke being like that throughout the entire time. And also too, this is a short period of time that's happening. Like the whole first season takes place over a couple months. But yeah, and about the characters, I'm just kind of going all over the place with it. The characters are great. I love the characters. I love Urameshi. I think seeing Kurobara like get hurt and upset and crying when Urameshi was dead, I think that was that. I mean, that was what, episode 2 that happened, and I felt that. Like, I was like, why am I getting emotional about this? Like, it's only the second episode. I don't even know these characters like that. But even for that to happen in the first couple episodes and me to feel something, that's just great storytelling, great character development in that short period of time. And it's just like, yeah, you mean something, you matter. And with his mom feeling away, with everybody outside of that bum ass teacher. That teacher is trash, but that's also great writing. Like, if you feel like, I felt real emotion about that teacher. Like, it's to the point, like, when people don't like actors because of the role they play. Like, if that was like a real TV show and I saw that actor in real life, he would have to square up with me. Like, yeah, I remember what you did to your Urameshi. Like, come on, bro, let's get after it. He's like, bro, that was a movie, man. It was just a show. Like, what? Like, nah, dog, you gotta see me, dog. You gotta see me. What you did to Urameshi, what you did to Keiko, bro, you gotta see me, dog. Like, that's how I felt, and that's just really good characters. So the writing on the characters was great. I like that. That Botan was cool. I like Botan's attitude. I like that she was easygoing. That is a very interesting take on the Grim Reaper. That she's, one, a lady, and 2, not a skeleton, and don't have a scythe, and she's just like, cool. So I think that was cool. I like Keiko. I like that she holds her own. I like that she holds Yusuke accountable. I thought that was super cool. And then, going into the other, I like Kurobara. I always pictured Kurobara being more of a loser. Like, from my just remnants of what I could remember about YuYu Hakusho, I thought he was very second fiddle, fodder, and just like a really lackey of a character. But actually watching it, I'm like, oh no, like, Kurobara is kind of cool. Like, he stands on business at all times. He has strict rules. He loves pets. He loves his family. Like, he is a solid stand-up dude. And I gained a lot of respect from him when they was in the demon world, and he fought that tiger demon, I feel like, and then he was just like, nah, I got it. Like, nah, I'm gonna figure it out. And he figured it out. So I think that Kurobara is not the lackey and second tier character that people always try to paint him out to be. Now, if you ask me which of the 4 I would want to be, of course it'd be Yusuke, but if I had to choose any other one, I still think Kurobara might be at the end of the list. But if we were picking straws and I ended up with Kurobara, I wouldn't be like super duper mad, because I think what he stands for is great. His character design is kind of funky. The spirit sword is dope, and how he able to use them and stuff like that. So I wouldn't be too mad, but I think I would really want Urameshi. And I mean, shoot, let me rank them right now. I think Urameshi first, Kurama, Hiei, then Kurobara. I think that would be my 4, like how I would rank those. Cause I like Kurama. I think I like Kurama's attitude. I'm not too. The whip is fun. As somebody that's not really into that type of stuff, but the whip is cool. And Hiei is all right. I think just Hiei is like that Vegeta type character, the Sasuke type character, which is cool. But it's just something about he a hater. Like he a hater for real. So, and I don't like how smart he is. I do like Kurama. So I think Kurama would definitely be 2 for me. But I think it's Urameshi up here, and then those 3 definitely down there. And that's not how the show paints them, because Yusuke be getting his butt kicked too. But I do feel like, just from like, if I like, you see yourself in characters, I feel like I would be more Urameshi. Because Urameshi was like me a little bit when I grew up. Like growing up as a 14, 15, 13, 12-year-old kid, I felt a lot of the stuff that he felt, even though I was a lot better in school and I was never skipping school. That like brash insubordinate attitude is something that I had. So I see a lot of myself in Urameshi. And always fighting was a big thing too. So definitely see myself in him. But I think my biggest gripe, like towards the back half of it, was I'm like, there's no big bad yet. Like we done went 10, 11, 12 episodes, however long that first season is, and there's no big bad. Where's the big bad? Where is somebody who can like really push your Meshi and do something? And I'm like, where is he at? Because I thought in that the demon joint, when they was like, oh, I'm looking for this guy, he's supposed to be the guy and stuff. And when I found him, I thought, and his power was really cool, but I thought he was going to be him. And then once Urameshi packed him up, I was like, well, where's the big bad? We are 15, 16, 17 episodes deep, however long it was, and we still ain't got the guy yet. I'm like, we're going to go through the whole first season without finding the guy that's going to, like, the real main antagonist? And then a young man by Toguro came along. And hey, man, that's what I wanted. That's what I was waiting for. When homie with the black hair, that was one of the rich dudes and stuff, and just the whole setup and stuff like that with the tournament that they had, and homie had to lose all his money, but then he came back and was just like, hey, man, that was all for show. Let me show you my strength. And I think it was dope how they made Urameshi still a kid. Like, they was like, in this moment, I am a older kid or a grown man. I'm gonna show you the difference between a grown man and a little boy. And you're a little boy. But they made Urameshi look like a little boy in that space. He like destroying the whole parking structure. Imagine that was your parking structure. Like, man, I finally got it. I finally got my parking structure, man. I'm about to make some money. And then here go Toguro just like, yeah, blah, blah. Like, and you just sitting in your freaking high rise looking at your damn parking structure get destroyed. And he big as hell, strong as hell. So if he did that to that parking structure, what is he gonna do to you? So he's like, damn, I can't even do nothing. I don't know what's wrong with him. And he did it without his big brother on his body. Like, that was weird. I ain't gonna lie. I done fought with my homies a bunch of times. I ain't never told my homeboy, yeah, get on my back. We gonna fight together. Like, that's, and I know why, because he turned into the sword and then the shield and stuff like that. But just do that when it's time to fight. You don't have to be riding my back all the time like you Prince and I'm your bodyguard or something. Like, let's walk separate, and then when it's time to fight, we can come together. Like, that's wild. Just riding on your little brother back all day, all night. Boy, stop. That's crazy. But what I do like about that is when they got up and was like, all right, we just playing. Yo, that's probably one of my favorite parts, if not my favorite part of the whole first season, is when Toguro kicked that dude's head smooth off. He was like, oh, you guys were playing around and I'm broke and I lost all my money. And then dude in the black hair was like, hey, get him out of here. And it was like, bet. And he kicked me through the glass. He kicked through the glass and he kicked his head through the glass and it came smooth off. I died. I played that back at least 4 or 5 times. I played that back so many times, and I'm like, bro, why did he did not have to do that to him. He could have just, or like did the classic anime punch through the stomach. Why did you kick homie head off through the glass? That was hilarious to me. And that just also showed how terrifying Toguro is. And it did leave me wondering like, yo, how is Urameshi going to handle this? Because when they was getting over to even fight Toguro in that mansion, they had the dude and stuff like that. The dude that was a dude that wasn't a dude. And then they had the big monster. And then they had it was another guy that was with them too. And that was like a test in a sense, but he kind of watched through those. Like all of those guys were able to get through those. The Toguro brothers was like, okay, this is a real battle. But him kicking homie head off and then him destroying that parking structure and had me feeling like, how is YuYu gonna take care of this guy? How is Yusuke gonna do this? It made me excited for the second season. I'm super excited for the second season, which is why I had to get this review done so I can go and finish the second season. I think all in all, at least from what the first season is, because one of the things that my homie Keith kept saying is that it was boring. It was boring. I felt like there was never a dull moment. I didn't feel like that I was bored at any point. Granted, some spots were a lot more enjoyable and a lot more exciting than others. I think if you were to call it boring, the only thing that would be boring in a sense is just not there being a real big bad until later in the season. But I don't see it being boring. I don't even see it being like average. I think that the first season of Yu Yu Hakusho still holds up for it coming out almost 30 years ago at this point. So I don't know what he's talking about. He's tripping. And I think at some point I might do, like once I finish the second season, I might do a FaceTime call with him or something, or like a Zoom or something. And, you know, him and I can kind of talk through it. But I don't see what that man is talking about. And we can get some more insight from him when I finish the second season, and then we can even bring some other people on, like my boy Keenan or something like that, or it could just be him and I. We'll see. But yeah, he's tripping. Season 1 of Yu Yu Hakusho was a really good time. I know that there's more to go. Obviously, you know, watching this again after it being out for so long, so many things have been done and redone, even though for them it might have been not the first iteration of it, but they were some of the pioneers. But going back and watching the pioneers after seeing other animes do what they're trying to do better, it does kind of have that, like, you know, okay, what they call it, the rose tint on it or whatever. So it's just like, okay, like, let me try to put that out and just take it for what it is. And I feel like it still holds up, whether you take that out or not. But I can understand, you knowing exactly, there was nothing that I saw from that first season where I was like, oh, I don't know where they're going. I don't know. I'm scared. I'm clueless. I'm confused. Like, everything was pretty straightforward. You knew what was going to happen. You knew that they were going to make it out of those situations. But the way in which they made it out of those situations was really cool. Even with the one where all 4 of them got stuck under that, when they was in the demon lair, and, you know, the thing was crushing them down, and how Hihei acted like he wasn't rocking with him, but then he did, and then he killed the bat and killed the dude and stuff like that. So I felt like there was moments where it's like, I know they're going to make it. I know Kurobaru's going to win this. I know Urameshi's going to win this. I know Hihei, Kurama, I know they're going to win this. Let's just see how, though. And I feel like how they handled all of those situations, even when they was Kurama was fighting the rock dude, and when Hihei was doing his stuff, and then Urameshi was fighting other, like, I knew that they were going to make it out alive. I just appreciated how all of those scenarios went, and I enjoyed myself. I had a good time. So I'm not just going to keep saying I had a good time over and over. I think the only gripe is, obviously, it being such an older anime, the animation style is whatever. But they didn't hold back on fighting. They didn't do like a Dragon Ball Z. Like, they had movement. They had real fists. They had real kicks. They had the spirit gun. They had, you know, I feel like, okay, maybe when they was fighting in the dark, that might have been a cop out, or, you know, it might have been a way for them to save money because they knew what they had later on. But they went out in the forest or in the woods or the swamp or wherever they were at, and they still fought out there. So they didn't, for that time, that's pretty damn good fighting. So I can't really knock it. I think that maybe just the predictability of it, and you knew that there was more, and yes, the big bad coming so late, and I can understand people that might have want that a little bit sooner, but if that kind of took you off or you know, kept you from watching it, I can potentially see somebody starting Yu Yu Hakusho and then not finishing it, but not having a reason for not finishing it. Like, I feel like I do that with animes all the time. I do that with TV shows all the time. Shoot, I do that with video games. But I don't think that there's necessarily a knock to the show, but I can understand somebody starting Yu Yu Hakusho and then not coming back to it for 6 to 8 months. And I can't put my finger on it, but I feel like a lot of animes from that time are kind of like that. And it's just because there's so much out here now that's really good, and there's some stuff out here that's great that's like coming out week to week. I do feel like there's a lull going on right now with anime, with Blood War being about to come back, Demon Slayer coming out in September, Jujutsu Kaisen, Hell's Paradise, Kaiju number 8, like all the Spy Family, like all of the big dogs are kind of chilling right now. They're not out. So I feel like there is a little lull, but I can understand when all of those guys are back in action, how tough it'll be to get back and watch Yu Yu Hakusho. So, and that's not been the reason I haven't watched it. Like I said, I had a lot of competing priorities. I haven't actually watched any anime really, just because I wanted to get back to this. So now that I'm back, I am happy that I get to go finish it. And I will do my best not to be harsh on the Dark Tournament and compare it strictly to the Chunin exams. But I will say, you're gonna to say that it's better than the Chunin exams, you're gonna have to bring some heat. You're gonna have to bring some heat, and I'm not gonna, because I'll be here another 10-15 minutes if I do. I'll wait until after I watch it to kind of do that side-by-side comparison, but there was a lot of highs even before the end of it that were great in the Chunin exam. So I need y'all I'm gonna just try to be as unbiased as possible when watching it and not do a side-by-side comparison and just see in the grand scheme of the show and everything else how it plays out. But with that being said, I really enjoy Yu Yu Hakusho. It was a good time. I like the characters, I like the story, the fight scenes are good, and I like Toguro as the big bad. I'm gonna say Keith was tripping. I don't know. I can't even remember what he gave it. I think he gave it, I forgot what he gave it, but he is tripping. The first season of Yu Yu Hakusho is a good time. It stands the test of time, and I'm definitely excited for the second season. So on a scale of 1 to 9,000, I'm giving the first season of Yu Yu Hakusho a 7,400. 7,400. It's good, man. It's good. It's not the greatest first season of anime I ever seen, and it is far from the worst, and it's not even in a mediocre category. It is a damn good time from start to finish, and I am very excited for the second season. That's all I got. I ain't got no fancy outro or nothing like that. I'm just happy to be back in the Let's Talk Anime streets. I'm going to be more consistent with that. You're going to see some stuff from me every week. Obviously, I'm not going to finish the whole season in a week, but I'm going to try to drop some other different type of anime-esque episodes along with the Yu-Gi-Oh content I'm making. If you came here just for anime and you don't know my Yu-Gi-Oh stuff, please go watch my Yu-Gi-Oh stuff. I do want to start watching Yu-Gi-Oh again, like the GX, I think it is. A lot of the people in the Master Duel, community have been recommending that, so I might spend some time to go back to that. But so right now, simultaneously, I've been watching Yu Yu Hakusho and Fire Force. So the next review is going to be of Fire Force, the first season of Fire Force. I forgot to do a Blood Roar review, like the last couple episodes of Blood War, and at this point, I don't know if I'm gonna make it. I have a ton of notes. I did a ton of work, so I might just rattle off my notes and it'd be like a 10-15 minute episode. But I enjoyed it. If spoiler alert, it was great. But that's pretty much it. But I'll make sure I'm dropping stuff in the meantime until I can do the season 2 review of YuYu Hakusho. So with that being said, like I said, no fancy outros. I'm Ice McGowan, and this is Let's Talk Anime.